Hey, so welcome everyone. So this is Uncovering Spiritual Gifts with Reiki Energy. My name is Mish. I am a practicing psychic medium. I have the gift of clairvoyance and clairaudience, and I created this Uncovering Spiritual Gifts group to essentially help people who are working through their spiritual gifts, whether they are in Reiki healing, astrology, psychic gifts, whatever energy work people are going through, but just to give everyone a safe space to talk about their gifts with other individuals who understand. And so today we're going to be talking about Reiki, which Debbie, we met on a networking meetup, and I mentioned that I did these types of groups, and I would love for her to come on to talk about Reiki and talk about the experience as well. And it sounds like a couple of us are familiar with this. So the structure will go similar to the way that I like to run. First is introductions. I want to get to know you a little bit more, where you are in the world, what brought you to Reiki, what's your interest in Reiki, what you're hoping to learn, just something about yourself. Then Debbie's going to be our expert today. So I'm just going to guide her through this experience as best as I can. And then we'll save, some questions, maybe some practicing with Reiki, and then we'll save some questions and answers for the end. I've blocked off 90 minutes. Funny enough, somehow it always ends up being close to that because we just start talking, and that's my favorite part of these meetups. But yeah, so we'll go from there. So I'll with the introductions, I'll start. My name is Mish again, like I said. I'm originally from Sutton, Massachusetts, which is a really small cow town in Massachusetts. But I currently am more or less living in Cape Town, South Africa. And I have the gift of clairvoyance and clairaudience. And I've had one Reiki session like 10 years ago now. It was a long time. But yeah, I'm actually really interested in learning more because I have a lot of Reiki masters in this meetup group that I'd be more interested to learn more about. So that's a little bit about me. Debbie, why don't you go next?
Okay, well, everybody knows me. My name is Debbie Barker. I'm the International Reiki Master, and my website is debbiebarker.com. I like to help women who are stressed out or they've got some anxiety going. I like to help to just chill them out. And a lot of times, once everybody gets chilled out, then it's like, oh, I have this issue that I want to work on. So every session, everybody gets to pick what they want to do for that day. And 99% of the time, I don't know what it is, which is fine, because I just want the person to get what they've come for. And I might see visions, I might explain what the visions are, I might do messages, I might go to a past life, or sometimes I go to a future life. And it's all based on the person's intention, what they want to get out for the day. So I just get to play with energy all day long. It's great.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Awesome. Thanks, Debbie. Thanks for sharing. Let's pass it over next. I have Diane. Why don't you give your introduction?
You're on mute.
Or switch the audio maybe from your
earphones. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Diane Tipper, and my business is Sleep Keeper, and that is a water-resistant pillow bag for your pillow when you travel. So you can easily take your own pillow, compacts it to 1/3 of its size. And when you go traveling, don't sleep on an unknown pillow with someone else's germs, oils and drool when you can easily take your own. Ship internationally, and that's a bit about me. And I have lots of sessions with Debbie Barker, and she is wonderful. And I've gone back into past lives and I've gone into future past lives, but I always feel amazing and always look forward to each session I have.
Yeah.
Thanks, Diane.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. All right, Melinda, why don't you give your introduction?
Thank you so much. My name is Melinda Huff, and I'm in Seattle, and I work for Office Automation Group. We have technicians, and those are my dogs. I don't know if you heard that.
I did.
We have technicians that we send to businesses across the US to help them connect their internet circuit to all the network equipment. So the printers, computers, Wi-Fi, security cameras, make them all connect together and talk together to make one network so we can help pretty much anywhere. And then I co-host and captain for Happy Neighborhood Project. Started out as an attendee and then co-hosted the West Coast Women and still lead that event. It's a lot of fun. The ladies are awesome. And in fact, we just came from there, and Debbie and Lenora over there also. And then I also captained for the Hawaii event. What else? Speed networking and South Florida. And enjoying the networking piece a lot. And that's actually how I met Debbie, was through one of the people in Happy Neighborhood Project had a sales class. And so we learned sales tips and techniques to refine our pitch. And Debbie and I were paired up several times, really connected, love her energy. She's a great networker. She's really good at keeping people top of mind and giving referrals and brainstorming. And actually that's how I think one of our great sessions was a brainstorming session. Someone didn't show up one day, and so we just decided to brainstorm. Yeah, so and then quickly connected and continued from there. I've had a Reiki session with her, and it was surprisingly fun for me. I didn't realize that it was going to be so fun. I came away so happy, and I just had a smile on my face the whole time, and had some like a cooling effect afterward, like down one of my arms, which was so awesome. But it was really fun. I enjoyed the experience so much. Can't wait to do it again, and just love Debbie herself. So
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for sharing. Super exciting. All right. And last but not least, Lenora, do you want to give your introduction?
Sure. If you ladies don't mind, I'd rather have the camera off. I don't have a green screen.
You're fine.
Okay, real quickly. I guide and inspire babies to over 100 years old and your lovable fur babies toward health, longevity, and happiness with wearable nutrition and medicinal mushrooms. That's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Nice. Thanks for sharing. I'm actually very excited to share that in October, we're going to have a mushroom cultivator come to Uncovering Spiritual Gifts to talk about mushroom cultivation as well. I'm also very big proponent of the plant medicine initiatives that happen across the US, especially. Awesome. Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you everyone for sharing. So it's going to be a really nice session. And once again, it's going to be the woman of the hour or hour and a half, however long it takes. So Debbie, why don't you go ahead and start out? Where did you start Reiki? Why did you start Reiki? Bring us back, however long that was. When did that journey begin?
Oh, it began in 2004. And I was sitting in a class called Bodyworks. And I was earning my designation called Certified Natural Health Professional. And you had to take 5 core classes. So I'd wait for them to come to Atlanta, and I would get the manual ahead of time because I do better reading it first and writing my questions down. So I made good use of the instructor's time. So all day Saturday, all day Sunday, you're in class. Well, I get this Bodyworks manual, and I told my husband, I said, these people are nuts. They think that I can align somebody's spine like I'm a chiropractor using the energy in the body. I said, they're going to have to prove this to me, because all the other classes were normal classes, like nutrition classes, things that you would expect. So I go to this class and I was mesmerized. She proved it time and time again. And then she showed a thing using your eyebrows and north and south fingers, where you're clearing away issues that people have had for the last 20 years. Like they've been going and talking to a therapist, and I'm doing it in less than a minute. So it's just, I don't know, it was just amazing to me. So then somebody said, oh, I'm going to get attunement to Reiki. Do you want to do that? And I said, well, what's Reiki? So, I mean, I was really new to all of this stuff, right? So I said, yeah, okay, I'll do Reiki. So, I had my first attunement, then my second one, then got master. And things just flowed from there. I mean, you learn one modality after another and you just keep going and you just have fun with it. And you just kind of see what you can do with it. I had the bass player for a band called Crazy Horse about 15 years ago. He used to come to me for sessions when they were in town. And he told me, he said, my back lasts a whole lot longer after a Reiki session than it does if I went to get a massage. Because when I'm not here, I'm getting massages every week. He's leaning over, he's playing bass. So he called me one day from California. He said, I threw my back out last night. I went bowling with the members of the band. And he said, can you do anything for me from there? I said, sure. I mean, what else am I going to say right now? I don't know if this is going to work because I've only ever tried it on my family members that don't live with me, that are up north. I'm in the south and they're up in the north. And I've done stuff to them, but I just figured it was because I had a connection with them. They were my family. So I said, sure, I can do something for you. And I hung the phone up and I did a session from here and I called him back. The first thing out of his mouth was, I felt like I was lying on your massage table. He said, I could feel everything you were doing. He said, the back is settling back down and everything feels good. And I was like, okay, now I can do anybody anywhere. I don't have to be with them. So that's why Diane's from Australia. That's why, she gets her session. I mean, it's just, I don't have to physically be with somebody. And once that was proved to me, it was like, okay, that's off the table now. I can go and do. And I just tune into my guides and they tell me how to do things and when to do it and why I'm doing it. So
That's amazing. And
what I do.
so Reiki was the modality, but talk more. Can you tell us more maybe about your spirit guides? How did that integrate? Because normally with Reiki, yes, it's about the energy centers of the body, but maybe tell us more about what those spirit guides, when did you start meeting them? When were they starting to integrate into your experience?
I just started tuning in to a higher source. Because I'm not licensed, I can't touch the body. So right away, touch was taken off. But I found that I could feel the energy of the body. I could feel it vibrating. Sometimes it was close to the body, sometimes it's far away. Sometimes it feels like a thunderstorm is on my hand. Other times it's just like the pitter patter of a little rain. And, so I just started tuning into other things. And then I just had this knowing. I mean, words were coming out of my mouth. It's like, where did that come from? But I knew that it's what I was supposed to say. So I always just ask for guidance before I do anything and just sit quietly and say, okay, this is my intention. This is, what I want to do for the next hour or whatever. Or sometimes I just sit quietly or I'll stand up and say, okay, here's my barometer. If it's a yes answer, they push me forward. And if it's no, I go backwards. So sometimes I'm just standing in the kitchen. I'll be doing something. I'm like, oh, I want to ask them this question. And I'll just stop. And my family will go, yeah, she's doing it again. But, all of a sudden you just get this idea. It's like, oh, yeah, I wanted to ask him this. So you just kind of tune in and say, is this right? Is that wrong? And for people that don't have the forward and back, all you have to do is ask a yes, no question and then say, okay, if the answer is yes, make my right hand get hot. Ask your question. And if you don't know if your right hand is hot enough, tell them. Say, you got to make it hotter because I can't tell. Or tell them make it ice cold or whatever you want to do. Anybody can communicate. I just have this knowing and I just do things. And I mean, when my mom was crossing over the last 24 hours of her life, she couldn't talk, but she was upset. She was crying buckets. My sister is wiping her nose. She's a mom, don't cry. And I said, oh, mom's thinking about the time we were kids. And I would just fill in the blank, whatever mom was thinking about. And it automatically stopped. And so I'm reading her mind. Anytime she got upset, I said, oh, she's thinking about this. That wasn't a good memory or whatever it was. But I just thought, again, it's a family member. And, when you're going through death, everything goes out the door and you just focus on what's in front of you. And I just thought that that's what was happening. And then about 15 years later, my daughter is in college. She's a freshman, about an hour and a half from the house. And I woke up at 3 a.m. and I was in a panic. I was in a deep sleep, and it was like, all of a sudden I'm up like this. And I said, well, wait a minute. My daughter's going through something major. I just knew it with every being in my body. And I waited and waited and waited for her to call me. She didn't call me all day. And I thought, okay, that's it. I'm calling. But if she doesn't answer the phone, I'm going to be on that campus. I'm going to run around like a crazy lady, right? Because I got to find my daughter. She's not in her dorm room. That's where I'm going. So I called and she answered. And I said, where were you at 3 a.m? And there's silence on the line. She says, at the hospital. Are you okay? She said, yes. She explained what happened with her friend. And I said, I almost called you 1,000,000 times. She said, oh, you wouldn't have gotten hold of me. We had to turn our phones off in the hospital. I'm just now getting back to the dorm room, and I just turned the phone on. It's still in my hand, and you called. So I know that they made me wait to call her, because I would have been a crazy person. But, just like things like that happen. And then looking back on it is like, I should have known that I had this gift a while ago, but I didn't understand it. I mean, how many times do you think about somebody and you call them and they're going, I was just thinking about you, or I'm in a real bad place. I need somebody to talk to. I'm so appreciative of you calling me. Because you're listening to that little voice in your head. They're just giving you a little nudge. This person needs you. And Melinda, you can do it with your dogs too. Your dogs already do it. I'm sure that when you get stressed out, you've got 1 or 2 of those dogs are with you. They just know. And that's how they are.
Yeah.
And animals, I think, are better at it than humans are, because a lot of times the human little voice gets in there. But
Yeah.
anybody can do this.
Definitely. Does anyone else in this room currently connect with their spirit guides, or some individuals that they consider their guides yet? Yeah, Diane?
I used to in my early 20s, because I used to meditate every day. And yes, I would, a bit like Debbie, at times I would wake up all of a sudden during the night and see or dream something and think, oh my God, that was so real. And then it will become real, like maybe a week later, a month later, or exactly like in the dream.
Amazing.
So
Yeah.
yes, I love it all. And I love Debbie's spirit guides, because they can be really quite funny at times, can't they, Debbie? They like to do different things on me.
They do. Sometimes the clowns will come in too.
Yes.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, Lenora said, at least not all the time, but at least I wouldn't know if I do or not. It's its own kind of gift, isn't it, Debbie? It's claircognizance, the clear knowing. So it is a spiritual gift in itself. But yeah, I guess, is there any way that you can, maybe it is with Reiki, or maybe some techniques that you personally do that maybe you can help people when they are on their own connect with their spirit guides?
Well, you can do non-dominant handwriting, and that connects you with the spiritual side of your brain. So like, I'm right-handed, so I would, write with my left. If I'm going to use my right hand, I'm going to write a question on the top of the page. Then I'm going to switch, put the pen in my left hand, and I'm going to start to write my answer. And you're going to be surprised at what comes out. I mean, it's a fun little exercise to do when you don't think that you don't have any intuition at all, because the right side of the brain is what houses our intuition.
Mm-hmm.
So use your non-dominant hand and just write once you have your question.
That's amazing.
And don't doubt it. Don't doubt it, because a lot of people do. They get into, oh, that can't possibly be right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always that reptilian brain that wants an answer, wants a physical reason for everything. I get that.
Yeah.
That's a really good technique. Now, I know you mentioned that there's some techniques that, more specifically with Reiki. So I know some tools that you had mentioned to relieve stress and anxiety. We live in this monkey world with all this monkey distractions and the monkey mind. So how can Reiki help out with relieving stress and anxiety?
Well, there's a few different things that you can do. I call them tools. And the first thing that you can do to raise your vibration if you're in a funk is just to pretend belly laugh. Because your body doesn't know if you're really laughing or if you're pretending. It's going to react the same way. Now, I had a cancer client lives up north, and she was going in for chemo every week, and her blood pressure was always high. They took it before her chemo, they took it after her chemo, it was always high. They told her she had white coat syndrome. She used to be a nurse. She did not have white coat syndrome. She knew she didn't. So I said, okay, you're going to have to pretend belly laugh before you get your session. And she said, okay. So they were starting to slap the cup on her. They were, wait, I have to pretend belly laugh. So she did. And they put the blood pressure cup on her, and she had normal blood pressure for the first time. The nurses couldn't believe it. So she had her chemo, went back next week. The second week, she decided she was going to pretend belly laugh in her head. She didn't do it out loud, but she did it in her head. And she had the exact same thing happen. It was normal. So I want all of us to practice pretend belly laugh. Now, I send this to people when I know that they're in a funk and they need a little something. So if you ever open up a text message from me and it's voice, it might be me pretend belly laughing, okay? So everybody unmutes. We're all going to pretend belly laugh together. And if anybody's watching this on the replay, you got to do the same thing because it's silly. You ready?
Mhm.
All right, let's go.
Oh.
Okay, don't you feel different than you did before you started laughing, right?
Yeah.
So
You
if
can,
you ever
you
see
can
anybody,
feel the vibration.
yeah, it's there.
Mhm.
So, you know, I tell somebody, if you don't want to go into work, well, just pretend belly laugh before you get there and then just go for it. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing is called a 3x3. And this is a Phil Barcier, it's a TED Talk. You can just, you know, put his name in and do 3x3 and it'll come up. But it's just a way that you completely relax and you're right back in the moment and your stress is out. So the first thing that you do is you pick 3 objects in the room. So you can pick, like, I don't know, whatever your 3 objects are, pick them. But don't be descriptive. Don't say the yellow curtain, just say the curtain or the window or the lamp or whatever. So you picked out your 3, right? Okay, so I want you to look at the first one and you're going to name it. You're going to say, that's a door or whatever. So just say whatever that is. Then you're going to breathe in nice and deep as you can. Really fill the lungs and then exhale it back out. Okay, so look at your next object. Do the same thing. That's a window. Whatever it is, breathe it in deep. Really feel like you're filling up the back lungs as well. And then exhale everything out. Okay, so here's your last one. Pick your last one. That's a machine. So you're going to breathe it in as full as you can get your lungs and exhale out. Misha, I can see your shoulders are down further than they were when we started. I love it. So that's a way that, you know, if you've got aging parents and you're taking them to the doctor's office and you're thinking, oh, I don't want to be here, you can do that right in the doctor's office. Nobody knows what you're doing. And all of a sudden you're more calm and you'll bring the calm energy to you and whoever you are there with. All right, so I've got one more. This is my freebie that if you want, you can go to my website at the very top of the page, just click it at any page at all. It's break up with stress and feel your relaxed self return in 6 steps. And it's called 4-7-8 breathing. The most important thing with this 4-7-8 breathing is your tongue stays on the roof of your mouth, right behind your front teeth. Do that because that's where your sympathetic and your parasympathetic nervous systems come together. So the whole time you're doing this special breathing, that's where your tongue is. Just stick it up there and leave it there. Okay, so close your mouth. You're going to breathe in for 4 counts. You're going to hold your breath for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your lips a little bit. Exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to do it again. Close your mouth. Breathe in through the nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open the lips and exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, ideally, you would do that maybe 4 or 5 times. But that's another way too, that you can just relax yourself out, bring yourself back to the present moment. And you just feel completely different. Breath work is just amazing.
Yeah. Those are 3 really great tips. I actually I do 4-7-8 breathing. That's how I get to sleep at night. 'Cause
Oh, good.
my brain is on. I have to do all these things, but 4-7-8, I'm on a black stage, and yeah, 4-7 breathing always puts me to sleep. And that's like, I feel my body saying like, oh, it's time to go to bed. No, not yet. Not yet. And that's
Now, how many reps do you do of the breathing?
so I tell myself, because I need numbers. I say, you won't be able to get to, or if you get to 50, you can get up and do whatever you wanted to do again. I don't make it past like 12. It's usually like 12 and I'm out. Like anywhere between, I would say 10 to 15 is when I'm already sleeping. I don't really remember what number I finally get out on.
That's
Yeah.
a good way to teach the body. I like that.
Yeah. So that's what I use. I mean, for stresses also, but for sleeping, that's because my brain is like, I have 800 things to do tomorrow. But without that, no, it's time for sleeping. We're training. 4-7-8 means it's time to sleep. That's amazing. And you also mentioned, so with anxiety and stress, you also mentioned that there are some Reiki tricks to helping the body heal quickly, especially if there's any like physical trauma. What are those techniques?
Oh, gosh. Okay. So I'll give you an example.
Mhm.
I was helping my husband hang a sign. At the time he was in commercial real estate. So it's a big pieces of wood, So I'm walking backwards. Well, my foot hit a rock and twisted. And I said, wait a minute, we got to put the sign down because I just twisted the ankle. And so I stopped the vibration in the rock and I stopped the vibration on the ground. And then I asked that they stop the vibration in my body. Well, when I asked for my body to stop the vibration, it kicked it up even more. So for the next minute or so, it hurt even worse. And then it started going away. And then I looked at my husband, I said, okay, we can do the sign now. So I continued to walk backwards and put it in a hole in the ground. And, we finished up and came home and I never had to ice the ankle. So whenever you get hurt, you want to stop the vibration in your body, but you've got to stop it in other places first. I was doing a session on a woman this morning, a remote session, who just came back from England last night, got in about 11 p.m. Well, I'm starting her session and I said, oh, wait a minute. I said, your body is vibrating. I could feel it. So I said, they're telling me planes, trains, and automobiles. And she started laughing. She said, yep, I've been on all of them. She's been gone for the month, right? So I stopped the vibration, the planes and the trains and the automobile. And then I stopped it in her body. And she felt completely different. So we can do that with travel. I do it when I go to the dentist. I always take the stairwell, right? So I'm in the stairwell, get on the landing, and it's like, all right, I stopped the dentist chair. I stopped every, piece of equipment they put in my mouth. They did, jerking me around with, and then I stop it in my body. And I recover better that way from cavities or root canals or whatever gets done, or even just a teeth cleaning. I mean, my body's real sensitive to it, but you can stop the vibration. So anything that happens, I mean, you could, hit your arm on the door jamb, stop the vibration in the door jamb, ask to stop it in your arm, it'll go away. Diane, you can use this on your grandson. I mean, you can help kids all the time. But it's just
Yeah.
important to do that kind of stuff if you know how to do it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be me that's doing it. Everybody can do it. You just have to ask.
Yeah. Does anyone currently struggle with any physical pain in their body, any chronic pain, anything that anyone has struggled with?
I've only, and it's really quite weird because it's not really overly bad, but I've just really started getting pains in my thumb areas here. So I could really ask what's to stop the vibration there, Debbie.
You can ask that, and you can also set your intention to release any thoughts or emotions that are causing that tightness,
Okay.
or ask that, that it just leaves the body. And I like to ask gently because I don't like to be hit over the head with a 2x4. So whenever I ask for something to be done, I just say, can you do it gentle? And so just ask, just play with it.
Yeah.
Great. Lenora, you raised your hand, and what did you want to share?
Oh, I have chronic neck pain. And the more stress I'm under or put myself under, the more aggravated it is. And then my eyeballs start falling out. And I just really need to really sleep and rest in order for me to feel better. But I really don't like living like that, So I'm gonna really try some of these techniques because right now I'm under a tremendous amount of stress, and I'm on caregiver burnout. So I'm having a lot of issues. So I think some of these techniques, I am so glad I registered because I think I really could use some of these and put it to work like immediately. So.
And Lenora, I also have some physical exercises for you to do that will help to relieve some of the tightness in your neck. So we will have to talk, and I'll share those with you. We'll do Zoom because I want to show you how to do them.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Great. Melinda, you were nodding your head as well. Anything that you wanted to share?
I was in a car accident many years ago and have a pinched nerve in my main SI joint, and I go to the chiropractor at least once a month for it. And it flares at different times, doing different motions or whatever. So, and the chiropractor helps for sure. But I'm sure that there are things that I can do as well.
There is. And the first thing that you can do, you're going to think I'm nuts, is to go back to the accident. Stop the vibration in the car you were in. Stop anything else, hit a light pole or whatever. Stop it all. And then ask that it stop in your body. I met a guy after I learned all this, and I was at a conference. And I mean, he's walking in like this. He just is not, you can tell something's wrong. So I asked him what was going on. He told me he was in a bad car accident and he just got out of the hospital and blah, blah, blah. And I told him about releasing everything. I mean, he was in the hospital for 6 months, okay? So I told him about the vibration, and we broke for lunch, for dinner, and we came back from dinner, and he came up to me and he said it was the most powerful thing he ever did. He said he could feel his body calming down, and it felt so much different when he was done. But he did, he stopped all the vibration. So Melinda, try that. And then also at the same time, ask that you want to release the thoughts and emotions that are tightening the pelvis. Because what I'm getting is that it's twisting. And I don't know if you ever like lay down on the floor and you put your feet at a 90-degree angle. Like sometimes I just put it, up on a couch. So my knees are over my hips. And I'll lay there for 20 or 30 minutes and you can actually feel your pelvis is all of a sudden, oh, that right side is going down. It was up. I didn't realize it was up. So if you can lay down there and maybe not have the dog walk on you, I'm sure they're going to say, yay, she's here to play. But, just give that a try, but and hook into to what feelings come up with the back and with the SI joint? You know, just uptight? Are you just feeling overwhelmed? You know, because sometimes if it's an overwhelmed feeling, then you'll know, oh, I'm just feeling overwhelmed again. My body's letting me know. So I'm just going to do some 3x3 breathing or 4-7-8, pretend belly laugh, you know, and I'm just going to let that go, send it to the light with love. Just play with it. Just give it a try.
That's amazing.
Okay, thank you. I will.
Lenora, you had your hand back up again. Did you want to share?
Oh, I was just wondering if those I don't know, I don't think, but taking me back, because the reason why my neck hurts is I've had multiple rear end accidents, which cause multiple whiplashes. So, you know, I couldn't pinpoint. I can only remember like the first accident. I could remember maybe one in between, and I could remember the last accident. But I've had like every 18 months I was getting rear ended. Got rid of that car eventually, the magnet, the rear ends, but some of them weren't pretty. They were just really rough on my body. But you know, I don't know. It just I'm in a horrible state and I don't really like it. And the older you get, the worse it gets. And the more stress you're under, the worse it gets. So
Okay, so the first thing that I heard you say is my neck, right? You don't want to say my neck because you're calling it to you. My neck hurts. Of course it is. You just said my neck hurts. So you want to call it the neck. And a lot of times, I mean, I understand about the whiplash. I understand about neck stuff. I lost the use of my right arm and they wanted to do surgery and they wanted the bone from my leg to put it up in my neck. So there was room between the vertebrae and I wasn't going there because they couldn't guarantee it was going to work. But anyway, eventually I got to use the arm again, but I went through natural ways. And what you want to say is the neck is talking to me today, or the neck is cranking. Because it feels better than saying, my neck hurts. You know, so you're just letting people know that there's an issue there. And I got to the point where when the neck was tight, I would say, okay, I'm tightening everything up here. I need to keep the shoulders down. I need to push, you know, the tips of my shoulder blades down my back, or, you know, I might need to do some stretches for the neck because it's just feeling a little funky. So that's what I told myself when it would kick up really bad. I would just say, okay, the neck is telling me I'm stressing myself out and I'm going to find a way to relieve that. And sometimes it would I'd just go sit outside and have a cup of tea. You know, you just kind of figure out what it is for you at that moment in time.
okay. Great tips. Thank you.
And just tell them that you want to go back to all those accidents and you want to stop the vibration. You don't have to remember how many there were, or even what color cars or anything. Just set your intention that you're going to release all the vibration from all the cars and then ask to release in your body.
Okay. Thank you.
That's amazing. Yeah, go ahead, Diane.
So are you asking anyone in particular, or are you just asking?
I go to the big guy. I ask God. And I mean, I know that I work with ascended masters. I work with angels that have 100% pure white light. But when I'm going for my questions and when I'm doing a session, I'm talking to God. Like I said, I go to the big guy.
Thank you.
And when Jesus comes in, like he came in for a session today, those are the big guns as well. Those are my two top.
So good question, Diane. So what if you're not really opened and believing in God at the moment? I mean, I'm on a spiritual journey, but and I'm learning all these things, you know, to open my heart to God.
Mhm.
But when I'm in pain, I'm not thinking to look toward him. So is there anything else I could focus on? You know?
Oh, sure. Yes. I mean, not everybody calls God. I mean, everybody feels that there's a higher source in the world, but we all have different names for it. Some people call it universe. Some people call it my higher self. Some people call it my guide team. I mean, everybody is different. So whatever resonates with you, you can call it hey you if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. Just as long as you know who you're talking to. The other person will know. And there's spirits down here to help us all the time.
Okay.
Oh, that's another thing you guys need to know. Okay. So we can call on spirits to help us out. They're hanging around for us to do that. And there's also specialty angels. Now, here's an example. The book that I read, the author said that she was traveling through the airport and her luggage was really heavy. And I'm sure she didn't have a sleep keeper, Diane, because this is way before sleep keepers. Anyway, so she's going through the airport and everything felt heavy. So she asked for a specialty angel to help her with her luggage. She said instantly her luggage felt lighter and she was just going through the airport. And then she tried it again. The next time it felt heavy and a sky cap from Delta just automatically came up and said, can I help you with your luggage, ma'am? So sometimes these specialty angels are going to be in human form and sometimes they're not. So play around with the angels too. Ask for help, ask for guidance, because that's what they're here for. And sometimes I was outside doing yard work and oh my gosh, I'm just trying to get all these hedges done and it just seemed to be taking me forever. And then I just stopped and went, wait a minute, I'm outside in Mother Nature. Why am I in this bad mood? This is just ridiculous. So I asked for a specialty angel to help me to get the yard work done and to get the pruning done. That pruning went so fast, it was amazing. And then I went, because I had to get the pruning done because I put my garden in front of it because that's where the sun is. So then I got all my plants out, my vegetable plants that I was putting out there. And my son came home and he walked up to me and he said, Mom, can I help you plant the garden? I went, yes. So he helped me plant the garden. So, I mean, it was a win-win, you know, I had a specialty angel and then a specialty angel in person. And I got to spend extra time with my son and plant the garden together. So, you know, ask for specialty angels when you want to, or just, you know, ask for Archangel Michael, can you come and help me? Before we started, before I got on here, Archangel Michael was standing behind me with his hands on my shoulders. You know, so you just ask for what you want. And then you have to believe that they're really there.
Totally. It's like vibrating at the frequency of what you need and living at
Yes.
the moment.
Yep.
Really, I do that quite often. Yeah, I have with my gift as well. You know, I have the opportunity to connect with my spirit guides and they've done some wonders. They've done some wonders. And when they haven't been able to complete something, it's because the lesson needed to be learned that I was unaware. But I definitely call on my angels as much as possible. And yeah, and then when it comes to Reiki now, you know, do you have angels coming in? What are your techniques? You mentioned there are 3 things to do with your Reiki session. So tell us more about that.
Well, I've just found there's 3 things to do to get the most out of your session.
Mm.
And the first thing is to set your intention. And that's just a fancy way of saying, why are you coming for a session? What's going on in your head that you want to have some help with? And then once you decide what that is, you want to ask that your thoughts and emotions line up with that intention, because we want to look at things differently to get a different result. That's the first thing. The second thing is to go to a quiet, relaxed place in your mind. So don't run that to-do list. Go lay by a waterfall. And at my waterfall, there are no bugs. The grass is thick. I have on a string bikini because I have the perfect body. I'm swishing my hand in the water. I mean, it's just like, I feel the warm sun. So you just want to go someplace that you can immerse yourself, okay? And the third and final thing is to come from a state of gratitude. So just say thank you to your higher source. And I learned number 3 because I had a lady who came on my table. She couldn't stand up straight. She was bent over and she had always had back issues and her back goes out from time to time. And she said, can you do something for my back? So of course I said, sure. So I helped her on the table and she's laying on her side in the fetal position. So I do my session on her and then I get done and I help her off. she's not standing completely straight, but she's straighter than what she was before. And I'm trying not to show how surprised I am, that it worked, right? So I said to her, I said, what were you thinking of when you were on the table? She said, I just kept thanking God for this healing energy and for my back feeling better. And she was better a couple days later. It finally, relaxed completely out and she could stand up again. So those are the 3 things to do to get the most out of your session.
That's amazing. And I think you can translate that to almost any point in life, right? Like if
Yeah.
you start your day with, thank you for giving me another day because I'm working on borrowed time. Seriously, this is in case this is new for anyone, this is a temporary human experience. You are a spiritual body having a temporary human experience rather than the opposite. And yeah, setting your intention for the day in a quiet space, right? I think we can all appreciate that, those moments of actual quiet, not the monkey mind quiet, and setting your intention for the day or your session, your work, your connecting with your guides. That's actually really really helpful. Those 3 steps are great for Reiki, and I'm sure they can translate to any category of your day.
Yeah, all you have to do is, like you were saying earlier, just put yourself in the right vibration. And the easiest way to do that is set your intention. This is what I want to happen. I want to have a fun day. I want to be around people that are laughing. I want to help uplift people. The energy will be there. The words will fly out of your mouth.
Amazing. Well, I mean, since we're all together and we're kind of in a quiet space, should we do a small intention setting right now? Would everyone be interested in just sharing that space together?
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. Debbie, would you like to lead it or would you like me to? I don't mind either way. I love doing intention setting.
Oh, go ahead, Mish. You can take it.
Oh, great. Okay. So I like to keep, so I do intention as much as possible, even if it's going into this. But I like to do with eyes closed because that puts me in a place of there's nothing else around me, even though there's a whole traffic out this window. So quieting down in your space. So if you want to keep your eyes open or closed, entirely up to you. And let's practice today, actually, the breathing technique that Debbie had mentioned, the 4-7-8 breathing, which is inhaling on 4, holding on 7, exhaling on 8, and we'll perform this 4 times together. So inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And return to normal breathing with eyes remaining closed. Now, thinking about our intention, whether it's something we want to accomplish today, tomorrow, within our lives, within this moment, collect that intention in front of you as if it was a small marble and holding it in your hand. How easy it is to hold this marble with your intention. Now think about that intention deeply within your mind. Maybe it's your career, your family, friends. Think deeply about that intention. Now let that marble rest in your palm of your hand. Now close your hand around that marble and give it a small squeeze. And let gratitude radiate from your heart, down your arm, down your forearm, into your wrist, into your hand, and into that marble. And just know that you are now vibrating at the same frequency of that intention. And that intention is already yours. It has already been completed. The order has been placed. And now you can let go of that marble, knowing it is yours. If you ever need to come back to this intention, always know you have this within the palm of your hands and all the gratitude that rests within your heart. One last sign of gratitude, taking one of your hands, placing it over your heart. Thank you for living in your purpose. Thank you for joining today. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you, Debbie, for being here. And thank you for all working within the powers that were given to you in sharing this human experience together. You can open your eyes when you're ready. Thank you for letting me guide you through that.
Mish, that was really powerful. Thank you.
Oh, you are so welcome. You are so welcome. I hope you continue to use that analogy. Great. So anything else that you want to talk about regarding Reiki or the experience before we get to questions?
No, but I want you to tell them a little bit about yourself because not everybody understands what you do. Seriously.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so Mish again, I'm a psychic medium. So similar to Debbie, I do connect with spirit guides and help individuals through their path. But I'm also able to connect with individuals who have passed on from the physical world, who are still watching over us and taking care of us, similar to our angels or guides. Our guides also take form in individuals that we've met in the physical world, who have gone back to the spiritual world. So I mostly do sessions, one-on-one sessions with individuals who are hoping to connect with individuals who have passed on. And it's all about intention setting. So I always guide through an intention setting before my readings with my clients on the phone, and just letting them know that they're the ones guiding the conversation. And I'm just here as like a translator between the spiritual realm and the physical realm. So that's what I have been given as a gift, and I continue to live in that gift. And now I get to share everyone else's gifts. So like Debbie, connecting with Reiki masters, astrologers, and letting people live within their purpose, because I do feel like that was also part of my gift, is kind of giving all the people that I've met a big old megaphone and letting them have the opportunity to shine and share as much as they want in these settings. Yeah.
Now, does the person always come through that they want?
Not always, not always. So ultimately it depends on the spirits. So they're the ones that decide if they want to step forward. Some people like to step forward when they feel most comfortable. So I will work with their spirits before their session, so that way I can build a relationship with them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, some people actually have reincarnated. If they've reincarnated, if you believe in reincarnation, I personally do, just based on what I've heard and seen from them. They've decided to take human form again, or decide to take a physical form again, that they're no longer in the spirit form. Or alternatively, some spirits are not ready to talk for whatever reason, whether they don't believe in, they don't have trust in me, or they don't believe the ability to connect with the physical world through a medium. But it just depends on them. So I try to talk to them before the session, so then that way they're prepared and they feel ready. But there has been some times where some spirits haven't been able to step forward because of their own reasons. Yeah.
That's nice that they're able to say, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, they still can. They still can. Yeah, Diane.
Can I ask, so how long are your sessions?
Yeah, so I usually do 30-minute or 60-minute sessions. Yeah, ultimately what you feel most comfortable with. I would say most people do 60 minutes, just because a lot can get covered in 60 minutes, especially if you have guides who have a lot to share with you and you have a strong intention. Yeah.
Now, do you record that so somebody can play back and hear it?
Yeah. So I actually it's up to the client. I've had some clients who just like to be in the moment, and that's totally fine. It's ultimately, I can record it. A lot of my clients really like audio recording, so I send them the audio recording after the session. I have audio recordings from energy and psychic readings I had from years ago. And there's people who said I was a psychic, and I was like, no, you're crazy. And yeah, here we are now. I believe them now. So yes, I do record the sessions, and always recommend writing things down during the session as well, because I'll say certain words or numbers or messages, and it resonates with people for one reason or another. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what do you charge per session?
Yeah, so the 60-minute sessions, I charge $150, but if you come through me through Uncovering Spiritual Gifts, I give you a nice little 20% discount. So let me know that you came through Uncovering Spiritual Gifts, and I can do that for you too.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Debbie.
And so, like, to do someone that's passed, so you would still recommend like the 60 minutes?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, we can get it done in 30 minutes. My 30-minute sessions end up becoming like 40 minutes anyways, because I just want to get it all out. But yeah, I do typically recommend, because in the beginning, the first 5 minutes is really intention setting and making sure that you feel comfortable, because it can be a very emotional experience for a lot of people, because they're connecting with people that they probably haven't seen in quite some time. And I will tell you what they look like, their hair color, eye color, what they wear, what they did for a career. If they have any blemishes, I can talk through that. If they gave you certain items, I go through memories, I go through future events coming. So yeah, they ultimately just guide the reading, and I just talk for them. Yeah. Kind of like what Debbie was saying.
Yeah. So, and you do it through Zoom?
Yeah, through Zoom.
Yeah. And so you said you're in South Africa?
So I'm in Boston right now, but I will be in South Africa in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Debbie. Awesome. Well, any other questions for Debbie? Reiki, anything that anyone wants to know? I know you've had some good introductions to it, but any questions?
Yeah. Well, I think I've got my session coming up shortly, actually. Should be coming soon. It feels like it's been quite a while.
Oh, actually, I have a good question about Reiki. How often should you have a session?
Well, it depends on the person. It's different for everybody.
Totally.
When I finish a session, I ask your body when it wants more. Sometimes it's 3 weeks, sometimes it's 6 weeks, sometimes it's 5. You never know. I have one client, she's so funny. She pushed her session back a week one time, and she came and she looked at me and she said, "I'm never doing that again." She said, "My whole world just like collapsed." She said, "I just need to stay on schedule when they say I need a session, because it works better with my world if I just do that." So
Good.
that's what she does.
Great.
But I have some people, I say, like I've got a lady in Florida, and I said, "Okay, I did her this week." And I said, "Your next session, they're saying 5 weeks." She said, "No, I can't wait that long. I just want to do 3 weeks." Okay, that's fine. So everybody's different. So I just do, whatever they want to do.
Great.
And I've just looked, because mine's the 6th of September and I'm flying out that day. So I might have to email you or see if I can make it a bit earlier.
Yeah, I think we might have to change that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Lenora, you have a question?
Yes, I know I had a session, a trial session, whatever you want to call it, Debbie, with you a while ago. But I'm trying to understand Reiki. So is this more like energy healing? Like, will it help me internally, like de-stress, learn to work with well, I don't know. Why don't you explain to me? I'm just asking because I think I need a healer or something. And I don't know if you actually do healing.
Okay, what I really do is known as an energy healing. So I might be pulling Reiki symbols and using the frequency there in different areas of the body. I might be pulling on biogenesis tools and using those frequencies. I could be doing Jin Shin Jitsu. So you've got points on the bottom of your big toes. And if those points are clogged, it's going to be hard for you to balance your emotions. So I have to unclog those first. And then I have to get them so they're syncing, they're talking to each other properly, so that then you can balance your emotions. So, and sometimes like your chakras are out of whack, and I'm having to pull the crown chakra over to the left by 2 inches. I can feel when it clicks in. Sometimes it needs a healing because it's got some dirt and dust in there. We need it to be clean and spinning just in the right direction with everything else. So I might be checking that out. I could be checking your inner aura, which is just right next to your body. And on the outside of that, this is pranic healing that I know. The outside of that, we have these health rays. And then on the outside of the health rays are the outer auras. So if you had an earache in your right ear, I would be able to see that those health rays don't look so good. They look fine for the other ear, but not for the right one. So I would know I need to put some healing energy in there. So it just all depends on what your intention is, what you need or want to get out of the session for that day. But almost everybody I do, when I'm finished, I can hear it in their voice and I can feel their energy. It has calmed down and they feel more relaxed.
Okay, so my next question is, you could do all these things virtually, or is it better to be in person? Because I know you don't touch, right? Whether they're in
Nope,
person
I
or
don't touch. It's all virtual. Actually, I like to just call people on the phone. Well, Diane, I call on WhatsApp, so we don't have to pay for our session, but I just like you, call on the phone, just put me on speakerphone. Tell your family, the next however many minutes is for you. They can't even knock on the door. Close the door of the room you're in. I like people to lay down, just close their eyes and just tune into what's happening with your body. And you'll be able to hear, I might be pulling out, a trapped emotion of sadness from the body. or sorrow, or dread, or whatever. And whenever we pull something from the body, we want to put a higher frequency back in, because those negative emotions are pulling us down. So once we can get rid of those, sometimes today I was putting contentment and joy and peacefulness into a lot of people.
Well, those are exactly what I'm looking for.
You
There you go.
need to have a go, Lenora. Like, it's really, really worth it. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Thanks, Diane.
Okay. We'll be in touch anyways.
Amazing.
Is it okay if I share a little bit from my Reiki session with Debbie?
Go
Is that
Yes,
okay?
please.
I want to hear.
I had 2 dogs in the room, didn't even think about them, like making them leave or anything. And it's usually very loud in my neighborhood. I sit by a window, I can hear things going outside. I have very, 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 very good hearing. I can hear people talking, and but Debbie sealed the room. And it was the most quiet 30 minutes that I've ever had in this room. The dogs didn't talk. They didn't move. They didn't wrestle. Nobody was talking outside. The wind wasn't blowing. The trees, leaves weren't moving. Nothing was moving. It was very quiet. And I just thought, wow, the universe calmed down, or my universe and the area all around calmed down for those 30 minutes, and it was amazing. Like, I just felt calm. I just sat in my chair just like I am now. I put her on speakerphone on my cell phone, and I actually put it up on a little stand, so it was higher, like almost mouth high, so that I could hear better and she could hear me better. And just was hands free, sat in my chair like normal, with my hands kind of, I don't remember if they were resting on my lap or resting on my desk, but just kind of natural position. And I just remember thinking afterward, wow, it was so quiet during that time. Nobody bothered me. The phone didn't ring. It was just so quiet. And I thought, wow, I wonder, like Debbie kind of mentioned, the dogs probably got some benefit from it. Everyone else, around in the neighborhood probably got some benefit from it too. This quiet time, it was awesome.
Thanks, Melinda.
Amazing. Any other questions? No?
No, I don't think so. Well, I've had so many sessions with Debbie, so I sing your praises, Debbie, to the moon and back. I think
Thanks,
I've been doing
Diane.
for at least a year, if not longer, really.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Amazing. Well, thank you. Thank you, Debbie. Once again, thank you so much
Yes.
for living in your gift. Thank you so much for following your purpose. You are in so much alignment, and it's clear by how exciting the session was today and how much you were able to give us. So thank you once again. Really, really an incredible session today. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nish.
Yeah, awesome. Well, you're all on the meetup group. So if you are interested, the link to Debbie's information was there. I can also drop it in the chat, which I have right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. So yeah, feel free to reach out to Debbie if you have questions. Yeah, and if on meetup.com, if you want to see any specific topics being shared. I know magic mushrooms was mentioned, which is coming up. We've also done, I've also hosted events or individuals to come on to talk about astrology. In 2 weeks from now, we're going to talk about astrocartography, which is an incredible science of, or a discipline of astrology, which takes the map of the world and finds parts of the world that you would actually do well in for career, romantic relationships, family, prosperity, whatever that may mean for you. She's an incredible astrologist, and she's going to come on and talk about how to figure out your chart and what your chart means, because it looks like a lot of lines. Yeah, a lot of lines. Magic mushrooms coming in. I've also had people come on who are master manifestors. I've had people come on talking about sexual energy. My incredible partner, Jocelyn, who lives in California, actually, she works within sexual energy, and she understands like lower chakra systems, you know, the sacral chakra, root chakra. So yeah, but if there's any topics you want to see, message me and let me know. I'm on Instagram. I'll drop my Instagram. Why not? I'm like still deciding if I want to use my personal Instagram or I'll use my personal Instagram. I've been doing a lot of funny travel videos recently. I just did a funny spiritual video today that people thought was really funny as well. I had a good time making it. But if you are interested in connecting with individuals who have passed on or with spirit guides as well, I also run those sessions too. But yeah, if there's any activities you want to see, any topics you want to see, I have a lot of friends from all over the world, and I'm still growing in the spiritual community and wanting to offer as much as possible. So thank you again so much for coming. And like I said, we were almost up on time. We still have 15 minutes, but we almost made the whole 90 minutes. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. It was really nice meeting you all.
Thanks, everybody. I really
Thank
appreciate you being here.
Thank you. All
Thank
right.
you.
Enjoy the rest of your day or night, whichever part of the world you're in.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Lenora.
Bye.
Thank you both very much. This was really cool.
Yeah,
Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it.
much
Yeah.
fun. Same.
Thanks for coming, Melinda.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. Awesome. Perfect. Yay. See, that was fun and easy, and you were an expert. Amazing. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did after a little while.
You run sessions? Have you ever run like a group session like this?
I've done group sessions for people. I've done like a 3 or 4-way call on the phone for
Okay.
30 minutes and done, healings on them. And then I text them and tell them what I did and that kind of stuff. But I've never done it like this.
Oh, but wasn't it fun? Oh, I think you did so well. I hope you start doing, if you want to do these more often, I think you would be it would be great. I think it would be great for your clientele. They can ask questions, but I'd love for you to come back on if you're ever interested. I'm sure
Okay.
why we didn't have as many people signing up. I don't know. Sometimes if it's a paid event, maybe next time I'll make it like a lower cost. I don't know. No, something like that. Yeah.
Well, but you need some money to pay for your meetup.
Yeah, the membership fee. I mean, it's not too bad, actually. I mean, if you ever considered opening, I know a lot of Reiki masters who have meetup groups as well. It's $25 a month. And yeah, and then they do all the marketing for you. So people join your group that just like your title. So if you ever wanted me to teach you how to do meetup.com, let me know. I'd be happy to share.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And listen, the reason I asked you how much it was,
Mhm.
because Diane's interested, you can tell,
Oh, great. Yeah, for sure.
but she only ever does 30-minute sessions with me.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's
So,
fine.
did she let me see if she put her stuff in, she put her stuff in the chat.
Yeah. I also have on the nice thing with meetup.com as well is that as soon as people sign up, I actually have access to their email addresses too.
Oh, good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you'll be able to say thanks for coming and just
Yep.
an
Totally.
easy way for her to get to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
I went.
If you ever want to come back on, I should probably stop the recording. We'll edit this part out.